just write it out. They use the expression, write it out. We would have had, at a minimum, 1.5, 1.6, but you would have had perhaps more than 2.2 million people dying in a very short period of time. And that would have been a number that the likes of which we've never seen. So now when we look at our package that we just approved for $2 trillion, all of a sudden it seems very reasonable, right? When you're talking about 2 million lives, all of a sudden it seems very reasonable. I must say, a lot of people that have been seeing the more advanced numbers, because these are much more advanced numbers now. You know, when you first started, we didn't know, and this was a different kind of a virus, and nobody knew that much about it. Even the experts, you don't really know where it's going. But then they see what goes on in Italy, and they see what goes on in Spain. And you see France is having a very hard time, and other countries having a very, very hard time. But once they see what's going on, they start making projections. So I hope they're going to be very high projections, but based on everything else, that would be the number. Let's see if we can do much better than that. I hope we can. Yeah, John?
What about masks? President, you didn't answer a question about masks.
What's your recommendation?
Okay.
Well, I understand there's an issue with supplies,
That's right.
but if there wasn't enough
this
for
way, you know, you
around-
can use a scarf. A scarf is,
A scarf.
everybody, a lot of people have scarves, and you can use a scarf. Scarf would be very good. And my feeling is if people want to do it, there's certainly no harm to it. I would say do it, but use a scarf if you want, you know, rather than going out and getting a mask or whatever. We're making millions and millions of masks, but we want them to go to the hospitals. I mean, one of the things that Dr. Fauci told me today is we don't want them competing. We don't want everybody competing with the hospitals where you really need them. So you can use scarves. You can use something else over your face. It doesn't have to be a mask, but it's not a bad idea, at least for a period of time. I mean, eventually you're not going to want to do that. You're not going to have to do that. This is going to be gone. It'll be gone. Hopefully gone for a long time.
What do you think about Mr. President, the mitigation?
He told this woman to use a scarf. Then he turned around and said, no, let me rewind. First he said the package that they approved for $2 trillion and the scale that people were going to die, over 2 million people, is reasonable. Then he said use a scarf, but then he turned around and said we're making millions and millions of masks, but yet there's still a shortage in almost every state. And this is the person that y'all voted for. I'm over it. I'm done.